industry. I'm an owner partner in the UK, and today I'm going to be talking about working in different territories, which is on cycle development stage 2. I think the first thing we start with, obviously, what you're doing with working in different territories, you're making a generalisation first of all. Don't really like doing that anyway, but you're kind of assuming that certain types of people will live in sort of certain types of areas. One thing to remember with that is that you're always going to get different types of people in different areas, so just kind of be aware of that when you're in the field. You're kind of ready to deal with lots of different types of people from sort of different classes or whatever. Also, another thing to remember with working in different territories is certain products will be sort of geared towards different demographics, and so that might have a sort of an effect on how you're going to work different territories. Obviously, I'm not going to talk to you today about sort of all the different products we do across sort of Europe and the world. We're just going to kind of keep it quite brief. So how I split up the territories is I guess first of all is low income. So I guess the big tips with working low income areas is using a lot of sort of greed impulse or gotta have it impulse if you're kind of working with an energy product or energy efficiency. People in those sort of areas generally don't have a lot of money, so those types of impulses are going to work really well. You can be a lot more relaxed in a lower income area. It's a lot more friendly. You don't have to be as eloquent or intelligent with your sort of language. And then also, I guess, in a low income area, those types of people are generally sort of easier to take control of. They're kind of used to being told sort of what to do, etc. So it's quite easy to sort of take control and close those people, and I don't want to say it, but almost kind of tell them what to do in a way, obviously in a really sort of nice, friendly way. The next sort of I guess territory work would be middle income. I guess in this type of territory, the big impulse we want to focus on is Jones theory or sheep factor, depending on kind of what you want to call it. Everybody in these sort of areas generally sort of has a very similar house, drives a BMW or an Audi, they've all got caravans, etc. or whatever, so they always want to kind of do what their neighbours are doing. So for me in those territories, like I said, Jones series is probably one of the biggest impulses, and understanding in those territories as well is it's not going to be as easy to take control of those customers, so you have to be very sort of calm, logical, indifferent. If in those areas, if a customer feels like you're trying to sell them a product, then they're just not going to be interested whatsoever. So a very sort of calm, logical approach will generally help you in those areas. And I guess the sort of final territory we'll go to is higher income areas. And sometimes people, I often get asked the question, how do you work in a high income area? And it's generally the one that people struggle with the most. A lot of products that we kind of work with, we're actually saving customers money, or it's a discounted product, etc. So a lot of people kind of get scared because they think that if somebody's got a lot of money, then they don't need to save money on their energy bill, or they don't need to get sort of insulation because they've got plenty of money anyway. Well, in actual fact, the reason why somebody's got lots of money is because they know how to keep hold of their money. So if you appeal to this sort of business logic in those types of areas, obviously you have to be a lot more professional. Make sure your image is great. Make sure you're using sort of intelligent language. You're greeting people properly, etc. And a big thing with sort of high income areas is make sure you're working really hard, because generally in a higher income area the houses are going to be bigger, long drives, etc. So you're actually going to have to move a lot quicker to speak to sort of the amount of people that you need to speak to go and ring the bell on a daily basis. So that would be my kind of biggest tips for working those different types of territories. I think a couple of things to remember. If you're working hard in every single territory and you're speaking to enough people, you're going to find your buyers, whatever, and you're going to find those people that you can kind of connect with, and they'll understand the product you're selling, and they'll want to buy it off you. So they would be my biggest tips for working different territories. Hope you have fun.